Welcome back to Albany County Direct. I'm your host, Albany County Executive Daniel McCoy. Recently, we celebrate the official dedication of the Neil Breslin Interfaith Sanctuary. Joining me today is Deb Riitano, has done an incredible job leading the Interfaith Sanctuary. You're so dedicated to so much of your career to bringing people together across all faiths, cultures, communities. What inspired you to take on this work? And before you even answer that, I just want to say you've been an inspiration to me over all the years. And when we did like healing moments, and we first brought all this together, we wanted to bring every denomination together to come into a room because, in every community, the clergy knows most things before anyone else does, and they're part of the fabric of the community. And we thought, what better thing to do to bring everyone together in a room and talk about how we can work together, respect each other's religion, understand each other's religion, which is so important to move forward. But Deb.
Well, thank you, first of all, for inviting me today. And yes, it was a big thrill to see the sanctuary named. Thank you for doing that. Before we go there, I want to say this. I want to thank you, as an alum of this college of St. Rose, for breathing life back into the college.
Thank you.
I can't tell you how much it means to a lot of us to be able to see people on campus again and to do that. And this is not bluster. This is really, as an alum, I am very grateful, and I'm very grateful to be working on the campus. I also want to say, as your former Commissioner of Aging.
Yes, did a good job, yes.
Yeah, but I want to say to you, having worked in other counties, nobody does the job for seniors the way Albany County does.
Thank you.
So thank you for that. And to the legislature for...
To the listeners, I didn't get much choice. If you meet Deb in person... not that I'm tall, she's a little shorter than me. Boy, does she have a punch. And she wants to make her point, she makes it. And you end up getting she gets you where she wants you anyway. But it is good because, Deb, and I'm going to have you answer that first question in a second, but, you've been an inspiration to the community, for not just seniors, to everybody. And your work, it showcases who you truly are, and you wear your heart on your sleeve.
Well, thank you.
And that's why you're not afraid to punch somebody or say no to me, and you're like, nope, you're wrong. And I know when you call me Danny, I go, I'm really in trouble.
Well, as I always say, who doesn't argue with the landlord?
Yeah.
So I already forgot what your question was.
So, basically, you put this whole thing together in Interfaith Chapel. I do want to say this. When we start that, you being an alum, so I'm going to change it up a little bit. You being an alum, you came to me and you're like, we have to save this. This means not just so much to the college, to the foundation of the college, but to the community, to interfaith. And we used to do it there, and then they had to move it out of the building. And what has inspired you to just look? You look at so many religions, people are like, what denomination she is? I go, that's a great question. I think it depends on the day where she's going to go, whether it's Buddhist or, Catholic or Lutheran or Jewish. I go, it depends on what Deb you get that day. And that's what I love about you, because you educate people. And I think the problem people have with religion and stuff like that is they just don't take the time to understand it, right? And what inspired you to take that path on that road? Because it's not been an easy one for you.
It's not. And I was always a serious student of religion and various religions. I always was a very serious student of the Holocaust, which then inspired me to learn more about Judaism, and I did that. And so you're right. People think I'm Jewish. People think I'm Muslim. I'm really a very practicing Catholic, and our family is. So. All of that. But it's so important. I mean, you're now the leader of the building where every faith tradition in the capital region agrees to come to.
Which is awesome. And that's thanks to your work too, though.
That is very, very important. I mean, when they built that, I was literally on the ground floor of that building. I volunteered there. My money is there. I backed it up. It was a great it was a great idea to have that interfaith sanctuary, and now you're leading it. And
yeah,
that
but
is
what
terrific.
I want to know, what inspired you to do all this? Because honestly, it was one of the things we were talking about, like, what kind of questions to throw at you, right? And I go, I want to know what makes her tick, because I was always afraid to want to know that question, because I go, she's probably not going to give a quick answer. But a quick answer, what inspired you?
The quick answer is that I was just always a serious student of religion.
All right.
I mean, my own and others. I mean, as I got older, I was interested in what others were. I did not go to Catholic school. I only lasted like a year at a time in a Catholic school. So
I won't talk about my record in a Catholic school.
Yeah, me either. So, but the College of St. Rose gave me my life, and my life will end here, and that's just a great thing.
Hopefully for not a long time.
And when we go back to your interest, if you remember, we just celebrated. Well, not celebrated isn't the right word. We just commemorated the 10th year of the Pulse nightclub.
Oh, yeah.
Through the stage table.
Yeah, we did that. You know what? I forgot all about that first meeting we had together.
If you will remember, the morning of the Pulse nightclub, I had already started to put a memorial together when you called on the phone and said, could you do this? And I said, it's already in the works.
Yes.
and
I thought I was a step ahead of you. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, no, you were wrong. But the fact of the matter was that I needed your backing on that so very much. Yep. Because certainly you expected the faith, tradition, clergy all came together immediately. But you were, we commemorated that at the sage table just a few weeks ago. So thank you for that. And
I totally forgot. I can't believe it's been 10 years.
Yeah, it's been 10 years. That's right.
And we took a lot of heat on that, and I was surprised, and it really got me down the path with you, because I was like, wait a minute, I mean, people should have tolerance for different beliefs or whatever.
Way of life.
Right. It doesn't
Absolutely.
matter, right? And
No.
just be happy for somebody, right? And,
Absolutely.
And boy, was I naive, and it opened up my eyes, because people I knew were like, I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, do what? I'm like, well, I do a lot of things I get in trouble for.
No,
but,
it was true leadership.
Yeah, and that actually inspired me more, because I'm like, now I'm going to dig in, and it's funny, not funny, but I had people call me, I go, Deb favors the Jewish. She's Jewish. And I'm like, she's not Jewish. And I go, but you brought me to, the Muslim Center on Central Avenue, which is the biggest in the Capital District. I still believe it is. I'm not sure if it is as today. We had lunch there. We prayed there. And then I shocked you because, being in Iraq, I read the Quran, understood their tradition. We had to understand their culture. We got a lot of classes in culture, how not to offend people. Like, a lot of people don't know. Certain, you can't touch their women. You can't shake their hands. You're not, there's different things they believe in. And it was inspiring. And then we did a food pantry there, if you remember.
We did.
And then we did, we have conjurant meals there at different times.
And that food pantry would not have happened if you didn't step in with the county and help with that and collect the food, if you remember. It was Linda Schuyler
Again,
and
to the listeners, she didn't give me a choice. And it was the right thing to do, because
Yes, it was, because nobody was helping them.
No, they weren't. And then, one of the things I took from that was a lot of that were there that I met were like doctors, heart doctors, attorneys, a lot of doctors. And, and I got a lesson too, because, and if you remember, we were going through when the first Trump presidency, not to get into politics, when he was doing the Muslim ban, and they were so upset. And we had a meeting with them, and I found out, I'm like, I just assumed they're all Democrats, right? What the heck do I know? And they were primarily Republicans, and they're like, I'm leaving the party. I can't believe this. And, and they came here with nothing, and they built themselves up, and they built a community. That's an American dream. That's what it's about. That's the foundation of this country. Everyone's an immigrant. And, you might have been born here, but the first wave was all new immigrants and people coming in. And you've always had that tolerance, which I love watching you. And to even back up, I do want to say this, when Deb was deciding she was going to hang up her hat in aging, I thought that was the end of her chapter. Boy, before she even finished her sentence, she's like, I'm taking over the Interfaith Chapel. We're going to do this. We're going to get it rock and rolling. I'm like, I don't think I have a choice, so I went with it. So, and I was happy to see that. And I got to be honest, I admire the work ethics you have, driving my staff crazy at times. But your heart's always in the right direction of trying to get something done for the community, and you leave no rock unturned. And for that, I want to say thank you.
And well, you're welcome.
But I want to kind of get on back on track a little bit. But for those who haven't visited yet, what do you hope people think and feel when they walk through the doors of the Neil Breslin Interfaith Sanctuary?
Acceptance, no barriers, safe space. The Buddhists have returned, and they worship on Tuesday nights.
Which is so awesome. I got to go over there.
That is awesome.
I never knew much about that side of the house until you brought them in. I'm like, wow, it's.
They're there on Tuesday nights. They're delighted to be back. We have a group of staff from former College of St. Rose who come once a month to have lunch there. Yep. To feel like they're part of the community still.
I've gotten so many phone calls from an alumni, which I was shocking, and that are interested in setting up a museum here, which we're left enough collection that we're figuring it all out, and the fact that has been open, and I'm like, it's just great because people don't realize how many people have walked these hallways, right?
And when you talk about all the faith traditions, we had to reestablish the kitchen downstairs. The Jewish community gave us our dishes. The Muslim community went out and bought us a microwave and brought prayer shawls. The Hindu community brought over books for us. A woman by the name of Evelyn Gordon donated a piano.
Yes.
She donated a piano, which I think she originally thought she was giving it to me, only to find out when I said, no, this is going to the Interfaith Sanctuary. She said, oh, my goodness, my son graduated in music from there, and he died a couple of years ago, and his daughter was in the last graduating class.
Oh, wow.
So it was great. That's Evelyn Gordon.
I do want to say this before we get to almost the end here, but in Interfaith Chapel, one of the things I have enjoyed the most is this beautiful garden in the front.
Yes.
With a little, water and flowers, and it was important. I brought someone in right away to start maintaining and get back to life. And you wrecked me because it was such my go-to zone. I'd go there a lot, and I spent a lot of time just thinking and getting through the day, and it was so peaceful and so surreal. And then you had to open up the doors and bring all these people back in the building, so I can't get in there anymore. That's the only gripe I have, because every time I'm like, oh, I used to love just going over there, clearing my head, and just
Well, and that's the place to clear it.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I haven't tremendously enjoyed just sitting there watching it, especially in the wintertime. So if anybody takes anything away from this, come look at the building, walk around, and if you don't feel sanctuary when you walk in there, I can't explain it to you.
It's a safe place.
It really is. It's a safe place. It's a great place to do it. But I want to talk a little bit about Senator Neil Breslin, who spent decades serving Albany County. I remember working on his campaign in 1996. His brother Mike, one county executive, got appointed in 94, and then he ran in 95, and Mike became county executive officially in 95, and Neil a year later became senator, and up until a year ago, 2 years ago when he retired. Was it really one of the things I would say? Neil was tough, but he was fair. I used to call him up, and he'd be like, "Yeah, go to this person. I can't help you. Go to that." And I respected that more. And he goes, "You're going to waste your time. Talk to me for 20 minutes, and I'm going to tell you go here anywhere." He goes, "Go here, get your answer. If you have a problem, call me back." Click. I'm like, God, what's it like? My father's generation, they just don't say goodbye. They hang up on you, right? But Neil has always been that person, like the whole Breslin family, really a fabric of the community, doing extraordinary things and getting stuff done. And why was it so fitting for this building now carries his name?
Well, two things. One, the Interfaith Alliance just gave Neil the Human Rights Award, which, by the way, I will say, you received the very first Human Rights Award from Interfaith Alliance.
I did, and I appreciate that.
And Neil,
I do, and I still have it on my shelf, and I
Neil,
love it.
Yes, Neil, and so giving this to Neil, letting him have this naming opportunity is very fitting because he supports interfaith. And first of all, he can stand on the front steps and look over to see his old house.
Yeah,
where
in
he
Morris
grew up
Street,
in.
I believe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
His family lived here for years,
Yeah.
and you could see on his face, because I said I'd never play poker against a guy because it's hard to read, right? How much joy and memories it brought back to him, and to the whole Breslin family,
Absolutely.
And I have to say, people have asked me, they go, "Why Senator Breslin?" And some get it, and I go, for his legacy in the neighborhood, what he's done for faith across all spectrums. But, most importantly to me, it was like, when we were doing this legislation and then Senator Fahey was Assemblywoman Fahey and John McDonald and Assemblyman McDonald and Senator Breslin, it was a no-brainer. And I just remember Neil, that's the first time I was in such a long conversation with him. And I didn't say anything. He just went on about the neighborhood, the College of St. Rose, his family, everything he did. I'm like, I think that's like the first time I go, this guy's really opened up to me. I'm like, it takes you to the end to finally do this, but it was inspiring to me. And I walked out of his office and I'm like, man, I got to do something for this guy, when he retires. And
It was a good choice.
No, it was. It was
a good choice.
It was a no-brainer to me because I was like, he's that guy, and people who think that look, he's slowing up, he's going to enjoy retirement. No, he's still getting involved. He's still helping out. He helped support the last mayor. He just went endorsing the city of Albany. He's still active, but he's picking and choosing what he's going to do. And it was touching to do that. And I know. You want to add anything about Senator Breslin?
We're going to be celebrating him, the interfaith community, at the center as soon as he and I can agree on a date. So we look forward to that because the interfaith community really does want to be able to hold him up and honor him. So we are going to be doing that, and of course, as soon as I know the date, you'll get that date.
And I know, and I know you talked about some of the programs coming up. I'm probably gonna. Do we have a website people can go to and look at? Do we have anything online?
At this, I rely on the county to be able to get things online. However, we've done.
And I didn't know the answer to that, so I was like, I don't know if I want to ask this question.
But I want to tell you, I want to tell you what's happened there since we started because I think it's important. We had a program on democracy, dignity, and dialogue.
Yes.
You got a big crowd for that. It was at noontime. I didn't think anybody would show. We had more than 50 people who then stayed for 2.5 hours to discuss.
I wanted to come then. I'm like, there's no one's going to show up at noon. And I go, and then my schedule was packed. And then I'm like, there's how many people there?
Yeah.
And I go, they're still there? It was amazing.
A ton of people there. We did a workshop on spiritual writing. Again, I thought, well, we'll get 5 or 10 people, but, we'll do this. We got authors who showed up, men who were journaling. We didn't have a seat in the house. We had Linda Baxt, who's an author, with Jackie Watsky, and they did, and Jackie's an artist. She curates Art for a Cure. They did an evening on faith and image. And, of course, the Sage Table continues.
I'll get it all. You got your time.
We're doing the drum circle.
Yeah.
And last night we did it outside on the campus green, and people just showed up, and that was, the oldest person there was 93, and the youngest was 3.
Isn't that awesome when you get that spectrum?
Great.
And one thing I've learned from other people in this type of business or the belief of what you're trying to do is like. In politics, it's easy to point fingers, and I always say Monday morning quarterback in politics, right? It's harder to bring people together and have tolerance and not blame other people, right? We can sit here and do the blame game all day, or we can come together and heal, and that's what I like about the
drum circle is terrific, and it's a lot of African music and rhythms, and that led by Jordan Taylor Hill. Who is just fabulous. So we have that. We have 2 more classes, and then we'll start it again in September. We'll do another 4-week drumming circle. We've got the Labyrinth coming on the August 12th. The Labyrinth is a meditative. It lays out on the campus on the floor, and you walk the labyrinth, and helps you to renew and to release your feelings. Red flag, if you have vertigo, I don't recommend it because it makes me dizzy. But it's a great way. Joan Horgan is going to lead that, and we're going to have 2 guided spiritual times that day. So by the time you you walk the labyrinth and you might hit a block, and you have to turn around and you have to go back again. But by the time you get to the center, you exit the same way. And by the time you exit, it should, release a lot of the stress and things that you might be feeling. So we have that coming up. I told you about Neil Breslin. I told you about the drum circle. We're going to be doing an art class, and it's called Ars Gratia Artis.
Right.
And that is art for the sake of art.
I like it.
So people will be coming.
That's up my alley because I'm not a good artist.
Yeah, right, because I'm not very good at art either. But
I appreciate fine art, but I just don't. Yeah.
But Ann Matteo is going to lead that. On September 17th, this is most important, Rosemary Terenzio is coming to speak. She's the author of Fairy Tale Interrupted.
Oh, nice.
She's our guest, and she was the chief of staff for JFK Jr.
All right.
And his confidant and his wife's close friend, Carolyn Bassett. And that's going to be a conversation led by the Writers Institute, Paul Grandal. And that's going to be registration required because we can only hold so many people, and that's going to be there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to come to that. And especially devotees of the Kennedy family.
Yeah.
Because this is a return to Camelot for us.
Yeah. No, what's awesome about everything that you listen is we have so many extraordinary people in Albany County, right? And I get you got to report the bad news and all that stuff, but we have such a great story to tell, right? There's so many people that do extraordinary stuff through our community that we don't really talk about or appreciate. And you just named every one of them, and there's a lot more out there. And this is what this is about. In this interfaith chapel to bring people together.
Yes, and I'm thrilled Rosemary agreed to come up to do this because that's
awesome.
really.
You better make sure I'm there.
She's a really big name. September 17th, write it down.
Yeah.
We're planning a concert with be music across the traditions, so we'll be bringing in all the the faith traditions for that, and then we're going to end the year. I mean, there'll probably be some things in between, but we're going to end the year with a Blue Christmas.
All right.
Because the holiday is not for everyone.
No.
Sometimes you're isolated. Sometimes you're fighting grief. Sometimes you're struggling with something else.
You know what? I appreciate what you're just saying because it's the same thing with Scott Leslie with our veterans. Like, Christmas Day, he takes time out of his day to go have lunch with people and bring veterans together that don't have family.
That's right.
Not everyone does. And that's why I always say, check on your neighbors, say hello, see if they need anything. And they might be cranky because no one talks to them. Take that time.
And we probably will try to do it on the 21st of December because although that is the shortest day of the year, it's the longest night of the year, especially if you're homeless.
Right.
So those are some of the things. We've had a play.
Yeah.
Carol Durant had gotten a grant to write a play. We presented it in the chapel.
I know.
We're looking forward to some other people presenting that kind of art.
You're right. So to the listeners, you better sign up because our space is getting limited and we got a lot going on.
We have a lot going on.
But Deb, I do want to say thank you and helping me make this work and being a good partner.
Thank you for trusting me with it.
No, and listen, it's in great hands, and I know it always will be under your leadership. But I do want to say thank you to everything, and especially for you joining us today, for everything you do to make the Neil Breslin Interfaith Sanctuary a welcome place for everyone in Albany County. As I appreciate your time, it always comes to an end, like Carol Burnett used to do, grab her hair and say, that our time together is over with. But I do want to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for making us a better community to live in. You're a prime example of what we should strive to be like, including myself, more like you, in understanding and bringing people together. So, and again, I want to thank you to everyone for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, before you make sure to check us out at Albany County Direct on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and now YouTube Podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new episode. And to the listeners, go to Albany County, go to the St. Rose campus, and go to the sanctuary and
come see me.
Come see Deb, and you know what? enjoy it because it's a beautiful place to go to. So thank you again. I'll see you next time on Albany County Direct.
Thank you for all you do for me.
Thank you.